Hey everybody! So the year is still young, we're only 2 weeks into it, and I wanted to do this video because I thought it would be appropriate for this time. You've probably already set your language resolutions, or just resolutions in general, and I wanted to tell you guys about a way to hold yourselves accountable. Just another way to do that if you don't already know how you're going to go about it. So first of all, this video is not sponsored. I just absolutely love this website and have been using it since 2011, and we're in 2019 now, so I have been a long time user and I just love what they do, and I thought maybe you would too, and it should be shared with the world. So, it's called futureme.org, and the premise behind it is that you write a letter to your future self. It's an email format, and you could actually send it to whoever's address you put in. So it doesn't necessarily have to be to yourself, but I usually write it to myself, and the website is called Future Me, but you are able to write it to whomever you want. So, what you can do is, for language learning purposes, because this isn't technically advertised as a language learning website, it's not meant for that, but you know what? When you're learning languages, it's so important to be creative in your methods, especially to switch things up once in a while, because then you kind of get bored if you're in the same routine over and over again, or maybe you really like that. But still, I wanted to tell you guys about this anyway. So don't discount things that aren't marketed or advertised as language learning tools, whether that's an app or a website or a book. You never know how you can twist something to end up working as part of your language learning routine. So I'm sure you've set your New Year's resolutions, whether they're language related or not. And this idea that I had as I was going back and reading my letters. Now, I do self-reflection, and one of those aspects is I will mention languages, like I'll say, have you studied this language? I kind of just reflect on the entire year. I talk about where I was at as I was writing this, and then I ask my future self questions that of course my past self will not have the answer to, but it's fun to see what I was wondering at that point a year ago. Now, I'd always send it to myself on January 8th. Why? Well, that was the day I started to take studying Japanese seriously. I every month was writing, like, however many months I was learning Japanese, what I learned and everything. I logged it and stuff. I don't know if I still have those notes, but just don't discount things that aren't meant for language learning, because they could be used for language learning in the end. And although I used it for mostly self-reflection, you could use it for language learning. Whether that means writing your goals, your New Year's resolutions, in a different language, or just a letter to yourself in a different language, and see a year later if you still are able to understand that language, or maybe if you learned new things and you think, wow, the language I used in that was so simple, but now I know so much more. Or whether you just write it in your native language, but you're writing down your goals, and then a year later you say, well, I didn't follow through with these resolutions, or I did really well in these areas. So it's a way to hold yourself accountable, whether you send a letter to yourself 1 year from now, a month from now, a week from now. You can actually put in a specific date, as I always do. So you can do that. You just type up your letter, and then you put your email. You will get a confirmation email that you did this, and then you should get your email on that date. So I just wanted to let you guys know about this because I absolutely love it. It's free, and I do think it's a creative way to kind of mix up your language learning routine. And it's so simple and small. It wouldn't really take long to just write down your goals or anything. So, have you ever used Future Me before? Or do you think you're going to use it now? I would highly suggest checking it out. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye!